Okay, welcome back to part 2 of the Halloween special, and we're gonna conclude everything in this video here. So the girls are back. We're gonna start with my latest pickup from Terror Vision, and this was the box set of Out There Halloween Mega Tape. And this is a really beautiful edition. This particular set was limited, I believe, to 250, and it's sold out, and I'll show you everything that came in this particular set. So you get the Blu-ray, which comes in this awesome hard outer shell full of Halloween goodness here, the black and orange traditional Halloween colors. And then on the inside of that, you get the Blu-ray, which also comes in another slipcover. So here's the thick outer slipcover, thick just like the Vinegar Syndrome releases, because this is a Vinegar Syndrome partner company. This is the Out There Halloween Mega Tape Blu-ray. I like how they made it look like it was in an old VHS cardboard shell. There's a spine with the writing, like we used to do when we were kids. My brother and I used to record a lot of HBO movies onto blank tapes, and then we would label them, put them in alphabetical order. We were doing that way back in the 80s. And then it comes with this Trader Tony's tape dungeon. It's a thick booklet. And it's made to kind of look like the old catalogs where you can order or read about some of the releases that the VHS rental stores had, or some of the VHS mail order companies. You can order tapes through the mail. Really, really nice little touch to this collector's box set. And here's the Blu-ray itself. Pretty cool. It's pretty nice. I really like it. Has Immortal Dagger Forever Sucks, which is, I believe, a soundtrack. We'll read the back. And then here is the Blu-ray, made to look like an old beat up and cracked DVD or CD. And so the Blu-ray extras are all listed there if you would like to pause that and read it. And it says that the taped over transmissions, unreleased commercials from the Nightmare Cut, bloopers, outtakes, extended scenes, a mail order catalog, and the Immortal Dagger Forever Sucks CD. If you haven't watched this, it's a really fun watch. It's a throwback made to look like some of the Halloween specials that used to air on television back in the 80s. Here's a little write-up, I guess, about the release. And here are some new releases from their catalog. You can order records or CDs, Blu-rays. They have a lot of really cool stuff over at Terror Vision. You can go check that out. So that is the new Blu-ray. Before we get into the rest of the swag that came with this box set, I just want to show you some other stuff that you can get that was already previously released in regards to the Out There Halloween WNUF tape. So you could get the cassette tape, which was a gift from Chili Billy. I will link him again down below. Pretty nice little gimmick. You have an orange cassette tape. I really like that. And then there was a VHS that was available that came in kind of this plastic clamshell. There you can see it has a paper logo there, paper tag, made to look like somebody was had recorded this and then labeled it with their own handwriting. It's a really nice set. I really enjoy the throwback feel to this. And then there was also a couple of Blu-rays from part 1. So this was called the WNUF Halloween Special. And it was a throwback that had taken place on October 31st, Halloween Day, 1987. And they really did a great job with this. These are both exactly the same movie. They just have different slipcovers. And as a collector, I wanted to get both of those. And then they have the DVD for this particular edition. So they released the DVD about a year ago, I would say, maybe longer, maybe less, I don't know. But now, just recently, the Blu-ray dropped. So I had this pre-ordered and I just got this a few days ago. So I wanted to show you that's all the other stuff that's available. And then there also was a vinyl record called the Frank Stewart Investigates. So Frank Stewart was a character in the first movie, the WNUF Halloween Special. And he was kind of an investigative reporter. Something happens to him in the movie. It's pretty fun. I'm not going to give it away. I do recommend you check this out. It has a really good throwback vibe feel to it. And here was the original Trader Tony's tape dungeon. It was kind of just a paper, kind of a booklet, which actually looks pretty similar to what they used to look like back in the 80s and 90s. So that was a pretty good touch there as well. And now they have the kind of the more deluxe edition here, more collectible, I think. So I'm going to pause it really quick, put some of this stuff away, and then we'll get into this box and show you some of the other swag that came with this box set. So just pulled everything out of this box, and I'm just going to kind of go through it as we come across it. There's no particular order, but there's a couple of enamel pins. One of them is the Trader Tony's Tape Dungeon pin, and the other one is the Out There Halloween Mega Tape. Not really a pin collector per se. I don't really do anything with the pins other than just kind of put them in kind of a junk drawer. I don't consider them junk. I just called it the junk drawer. Here is a bumper sticker that says, "Be nice." It came with the set. Here's a little information card just telling me that my order was packed by Brandon for quality control. And then there's a little sticker here that's made to kind of look like the Garbage Pail Kids, if you guys remember those trading cards. This is TerrorVision Records and Video. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. Here is a cloth patch that says Immortal Dagger. That was the CD that came with the box set. Pretty nice little touch. And we have one of these fortune teller fish. You're supposed to, there's like a little plastic or vinyl fish on the inside. I guess you put it in the palm of your hand, and if the head moves, there's jealousy. Tail moves, there's indifference. Head and tail, you're in love, and so on. You can read those. I'm gonna leave that in the bag. And there's a little art card, kind of like a postcard with the missing poster of Frank Stewart. Pretty cool. I like that. And the biggest thing in this box set is the book. It's made to look like a Goosebumps book, if you guys remember the Goosebumps books that came out, and I think they've been coming out since the 80s all the way through now, I believe. But this is really cool, and I probably will read this. It's called Nail Biters by B.A. Ghoul. That's pretty cool. There's a mummy in my locker, and it's pretty thick too. It looks like it's almost 200 pages. So that's a pretty nice little collectible. And it also comes with a t-shirt, a show you that. I'll stretch it out really quick. Hold on, let me pause it. And this is a size extra large, which is my size, but I don't really wear horror t-shirts. I think it's cool. I like it. I like the black and the kind of the fluorescent green or the chartreuse. It says Out There Alien Expose, a special live television event. And there's the front of the shirt. It just says Out There Crew. So that was the box set. That was limited, I believe, to $250, everything that you just saw there. The other stuff that I added, you can buy separately. It did not have anything to do with this box set. But I just wanted to show you a couple things in case you wanted to add those to your collection. And I do really recommend checking these out. The next one here is also a release from Terror Vision. This is called Frogman. And it looks very, very much like a Scream Factory release, but this is Terror Vision. This was a pretty decent movie. I liked it. It was a found footage of a cryptid called the Frogman. The acting and I guess the filming technique was made to look like a very low quality documentary style movie, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was pretty good. That cover is pretty awesome, and that's what the cover looks like. It's not a great movie. This was probably a one-time watch for me, to be honest with you. I don't know if I would ever revisit this, but I definitely do think it's worthy of a watch. You can see all the special features they have there. I'm not crapping on the movie by any means. You know, I respect anybody who puts a project together and puts their time and effort into it. Not everybody has $1 million budget or can throw millions of dollars at actors or set designs and stuff like that. So when you get into movies like this, creativity is everything, and how much you can stretch a dollar is everything. So you're not going to always have, you know, the best acting or the best special features or the best special effects. But it was definitely a fun one-time watch for me. This is called Frogman. Now we're going to get into my Scream Team releasing stuff. And after I go through this pile, I'm going to take you guys in the other room and show you everything that I have for Scream Team releasing, just to give you some ideas of what is available. I'll point some out that I think are worthy of watches, and you can do with that info whatever you want to do with it. So I'm just going to kind of dive in. These are in no particular order. This first one is a remake of the 1967 cult classic Spider Baby. You guys may remember Spider Baby with a very young Sid Haig. So this is a recent, I guess, they tried to redo it, and it wasn't bad, put it that way. This is the inked up, signed up edition here. Cast and crew have signed it. It has Brink Stevens. You guys may know her if you're horror fans. She is an OG Scream queen. She was always in a lot of low budget horror movies. I'm sure if you see her, you'll recognize her. She was pretty fun. And this was written and directed by Dustin Ferguson, so you may know that name too, so you kind of know what you're getting into. Not that I'm throwing shade at all at Dustin Ferguson. I have quite a few of his movies, but he's a low-budget director. There's a scene from the movie. There's the disc. So that is Spider Baby, and this one was released, I think, this year. Yes, 2024 this came out. So that is Spider Baby, the remake. I also picked up Cruel Summer 3, and this is another kind of a teen slasher movie series franchise. It's a poor man's Scream again, you know, but this one's also signed up by cast and crew. And in the background, you can see that there is a scene from the movie, and it says, "Where are the police when you really need them?" So it's a pretty decent slasher film. That's Cruel Summer 3. Here's another one called Worst Laid Plans. This one is also signed up. So the thing about Scream Team Releasing, if you're unfamiliar, is it's a releasing company, and they release a lot of independent, and it's mostly horror, not all horror, but it's like 90% horror. And they help low budget directors to get their movie out, you know. So you can buy, while supplies last, you can buy editions that are signed up. I think it's like an extra $10. So for example, if this was a $19.99 movie, you can get it for, you know, $29.99 if you get the inked up, and you get the signed poster as well while supplies last. So I try to do that when I can. I don't always do it for every one of my releases that I buy, but you can see a floating, well, you have to watch to see what that is, some kind of a creature. Some of these movies are very good, and they're kind of hidden gems, and some of them are just kind of meh, they're okay. But that is Worst Laid Plans. It's a horror anthology. This one I just watched not too long ago. This is called Late Checkout. It's another masked slasher movie. It was okay. This one also has a twist at the end that I thought was pretty clever. I didn't see it coming, and they got me on this one. And it was a pretty good ending, and it was worth the watch. And if I remember, this was a rather short movie. I think it was only like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. And you can see Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp fame. She had a bit role, but she killed it. She played a really kind of she played a good lunatic in this movie, put it that way. There's a couple of red herrings in this movie, and they try to get you lost or try to get you off course, and then they'll throw a zinger at you at the end, and they got me on this one. It was pretty good. It was worth sitting through this movie just for the ending. And here's one called Heebie Jeebie TV. This one comes with this slipcover. This is a pretty good one too. This one kind of has that throwback vibe to the 80s. This weird character here comes through the television, and he talks to two children who are watching scary Halloween movies for the season. And it's not overly scary. It's actually kind of kid-friendly in a way. The actor who played this character goes by the name Knucklehead, and he actually signed his autograph as Knucklehead. And then here was the director, I believe, Jake McClellan and Adam Leonard. I'm not exactly sure who signed it, but I thought this was pretty good. It was different than I thought it was going to be. But that is Heebie Jeebie TV. Comes with a nice slip here. And then the last Blu-ray that I got from Scream Team Releasing is called 1031 Part 4. Has this beautiful kind of a throwback comic book vibe, EC Comics style horror comic books. And this one's also signed up. These are pretty fun movies too. I like these. They kind of remind me, these are anthology movies, and they remind me of Tales from the Crypt. They're pretty decent, and although these are low budget, they really do a lot with the money that they make, or that they put into these movies. It's pretty good production value, I think. So there's 1031 Part 4. Let's get into some VHS tapes, and then I'll take you into the other room and show you the entire collection I have, which won't take too long because I don't have a huge collection. But I'll show you what I have, and I'll suggest a couple to you. So the first VHS tape I have is Cruel Summer 3. Scream Team Releasing gifted this to me, which I thought was really nice of them, and I do have to go back and get Part 1 and Part 2. But these are really beautiful tapes. I mean, the clamshells are really high quality. They feel like the old Disney clamshells, and they feel heavy and good quality. But that's what the tape looks like for Cruel Summer 3. And again, there's the back. These are nice, really beautiful. And I have Spider Baby. Fun fact about this, you can see at the top from executive producer Jack Hill, who was the director of the original 1967 Spider Baby. And I picked up Worst Laid Plans. You can see a lot of like white speckles. That's because when Scream Team Releasing ships VHS tapes, they put them in the plastic peanuts. And even though you go through and get the peanuts off, there's a lot of static electricity and these things cling, and it drives me nuts. But what are you gonna do? It's not that serious. Worst Laid Plans, a couple more here. I got Spine Chiller. These tapes are a little pricey. They're around the $30 mark, which is even more than the Blu-rays that they sell. But these are low numbered. They're not individually numbered, but they don't release these in very high quantities. So I don't know exactly how many of these that they press, but when they sell out, they're gone and they don't repress them. So if you miss out the first time around and it sells out, you got to go on eBay and pick them up, and then they're ridiculous. You know how that goes on the secondary markets. People double and triple. So this one's really cool. This is called Exposure, and I like these little these little paper stickers that they put, full frame, trash, horror, to make it look like the old VHS rental store days. A creature feature film from 2018. And the last one that I recently picked up, this is the Heebie-Jeebie TV VHS. So I'm going to pause it here, take you guys in the other room. We'll quickly go through my Scream Team Releasing collection, and then we'll come back and we'll finish this up. Okay, so I staged them here on the shelf. I did put them in alphabetical order, and this is all of everything that I have so far. So I started with numbers, and then I went from the alphabet. Looks like I started at B all the way to W. So I'll start with the DVDs that I have. I have 1031 on DVD. And I have The Barn on DVD, and this is very good. I recommend both of those. Then I have 13 Sleighs Till Christmas, another holiday Christmas horror slasher. And then we have the 1031 movies. This is part 1. These are all very good. I recommend these. If you like the Tales from the Dark Side anthology television show or Tales from the Crypt, you'll like these. So that's part 1. It's part 2. And if you go to their website, you can order these with or without slipcovers, depending how you feel about those. There's part 3. They each have kind of that EC comic style horror covers. And there's 4. We just showed you that one in this update video. And this is Back Road, the X-rated director's cut. Very, very violent and very gory. Here is The Barn, and this is a Horror Pack limited edition Blu-ray. And then I have The Barn with the slipcover. These are fun movies. I recommend The Barn movies. And here's The Barn Part 2. And then we have the Cruel Summer movies. These did not have slip covers, but there's Cruel Summer Part 1, Cruel Summer Part 2, and one I just showed you today, Cruel Summer Part 3. This one is called Cryptids. Has a guest starring role from Joe Bob Briggs. And this is a pretty good anthology movie. And here's Heebie Jeebie TV. Here's another holiday horror slasher. This is The Last Thanksgiving. Not to be confused with Eli Roth's Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving. Here's Late Checkout. I thought this was pretty entertaining, had a good ending. Here's a double feature of Maniac Farmer and Camp Killer. That's signed up. There's a lot of these that are still available signed on their website. Here's one that was a little disappointing to me. It's called Murder Made Easy. It fell short for me. I didn't really care much for that one. Here's The Pumpkin Man. This was pretty good. Low budget, very low budget, but it was a good little kind of a Halloween type slasher movie. Here's another horror pack movie called Rave. Here's another slasher called The Sleeper. This is kind of an 80s throwback style slasher movie. There's Spider Baby, Spine Chiller. This is called Volumes of Blood. I believe there's a Volumes of Blood 2 coming out, or maybe it's already out already. And here's The Witching Season. This was pretty good, pretty fun. And here is Worst Laid Plans. So that was it for the DVDs and Blu-rays. Now the VHS, we have Cruel Summer 3. I still got to get 1 and 2. Here's Cryptids. I don't know if that one's still available or if it's sold out. Here's Exposure. Heebie Jeebie TV. The Pumpkin Man. Spider Baby. Spine Chiller. I believe that one's sold out now and out of print. Harder to find that one now. Worst Laid Plans. Then I have the big box. These are hard to find. These are almost impossible to find. They're sold out. This is The Barn, Part 1. And The Barn, Part 2. So hopefully I was able to give you guys some suggestions. If you have any suggestions for me, it works both ways. It's a two-way street. I'm always open to suggestions. So that is my Scream Team Releasing collection. I ordered another record from Deana Martin, who is the daughter of the late, great, probably one of the greatest entertainers of all time, Dean Martin. She can carry a tune. She's very good in her own right. She put 2 Toddy Walnuts, love Deana Martin. This is her Christmas album, and she sends a little card. You can go over to her website. She also has her own YouTube channel, and she does a live show once a week. It's like an hour, kind of a variety show like her dad used to have. She talks, tells jokes, sings. She's very, very good, very upbeat, very positive person. She sent this to me on September 13th. It says, "Dear Todd E., Merry Christmas, love Deana." And she's still beautiful. I think she's 78 or 79 years old, and she still looks really, really good. And I was very glad to pick up this record. I'm going to buy more stuff from her over time. I think she has 2 or 3 more albums that she sells on her website. She has a book that she wrote about her father that she'll sign. And you can go right over to her website if you're interested. And the thing I like about her is she's very down to earth, and she doesn't charge for her autographs. So if you go over and you want to buy something from her, they give you the option to personalize it, or you can get it unsigned if you would rather, and she'll sign it to you and ship it out to you. And I had it within like 4 days, and she didn't charge me for her signature. So it was like, I think it was like $30 for the album, and that's all she charged me for plus shipping. So really, really cool. Wanted to add this in the update and show you guys. So if you guys are regulars to my channel, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies. In my opinion, they're the best movies ever made, hands down. It's not even close. And I do have a pretty decent, Lord of the Rings and Hobbit collection. I picked up some CDs. This was sold in a lot on Mercari, and I think it was like 25 bucks for all of this. And I got the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, original motion picture soundtrack. These things are all in crisp, brand new condition. This is a 2-disc, a 2 CD set. Really beautiful. I remember when these first came out, they were like 25 bucks a piece, and I got this whole lot for that. Here's Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Obviously, these are not in order. I'm just pulling from a pile. Here is the Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug. And I really love these movies, and the soundtrack is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. Here's the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. I believe all of these are 2 CD sets. And then here's the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And I think that might be my favorite of the 3, but they're all excellent movies. I know, I get it. Not everybody is a Lord of the Rings fan or Hobbit fan, but I know there are a lot of us out there that are, and these are just near perfect. So there they are. Glad to have these. I picked up a Movie Maniacs Pumpkinhead, still in the package. And Pumpkinhead is one of the best horror movie monsters, I think, ever. I think it's just, the story's great, and the monster is awesome. And I like to keep my figures packaged for the most part. I do have some that are out. If I get doubles of one, I'll take it out for sure, but I like to keep it sealed. And it's not to hold value or anything like that, because I don't sell things in my collection. I do it because, I mean, it's already pretty well displayed. I don't have a lot of space to display a bunch of toys. And if I did, they would get full of dust and dog hair, and I would have to continually be cleaning these. And any little accessories that comes with the, I'm pretty sure I would sell or lose them. Not sell them, lose them. But you guys may remember this Movie Maniacs Pumpkinhead. I think this is probably 15 years old now. Let's see when this came out. 1999 this came out, so it's almost 25 years old, this figure, already. And I think I paid $40 for this, which is not bad for a 25-year-old toy. A lot of these usually go up in price, but I don't think Pumpkinhead is one of the more popular, at least to other people, but I really love Pumpkinhead. I think it's a great, great monster. That is the Pumpkinhead Movie Maniacs. So over the past month or longer, probably more like 2 months by now, I've been looking for this little, I don't know what you want to call it, a figure. They call this a 3D movie art. And it's made to look like the VHS cover that's coming out 3D at you. And it comes with this little band, 3D movie art. And it's in this 3 deep VHS box. And you open it up, and you can see what the poster art looked like for Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. And Jason's putting the knife through the shower curtain. There's a little bit of blood on the 3D. There was a little bit of blood on the end of the knife, but it didn't stick. It kept falling off. So I'm gonna have to order some like super glue or something and put it back on there. For the time being, I put the blood drip in my junk drawer so I didn't lose it. But there's supposed to be like a little blood drip coming down there. I'm just going to glue it on there. But this is kind of a weird thing, because I've been seeing people selling this for 30 and 40 bucks, and I ended up buying this one brand new for 10 bucks. So I would always recommend, if you're a collector, the best way to stay a collector is to be patient and to find the price that is most comfortable for you. Because if you keep buying things at collector's prices, you're not going to be a collector very long. You're going to be broke. So really glad to have this, though. Part 3 is one of my favorite installments in the franchise, and I always thought that poster art looked great. So I think that's going to do it for the Halloween special. So I'm going to upload this now. Don't forget to check out Chili Billy and Curious World. Go give those guys a sub and check out their videos. They're great people. I really enjoy both of those guys. They're good friends of mine. And Chili Billy is really close to 500 subs now. I think he's only like 5 away. So let's see if we can push him over that 500 mark. That's a really cool milestone. I remember how happy I was when I hit 500 and I did a contest. I was really tickled. I didn't think I would ever get 500, and that's a great feeling. All right, so for Miss Hannah and Miss Heidi, I'm your boy, Toddy Walnuts. Happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. Be good. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned for my Halloween collection coming up next.